Hey there, everybody. P. Pardo here from Comic Book Users. Welcome to another episode of Inside the Cover. We're going to continue on with part 2 of the Avengers battle with the Absorbing Man. It's issue number 184 from 1979. In the grip of the Absorbing Man, death on the Hudson River. As Ms. Marvel joined the Avengers only to fall before Crusher Creel, because he's got her in the death grip, right? On the other hand, he's got his wrecking ball, right? So, of course, as I mentioned in the last episode, they gave us a preview of the cover at the end of the comic, which showed this exact same scene here, except the Absorbing Man was red. And the last panel of that issue, he was also red because he went down to the bottom of the ship that they're fighting on, and he went and absorbed the power of the engines, the turbine engine. He turned red. But for some reason, he's blue on the cover here. Why? I don't know. Ask whoever colored this here, right? But, of course, the great artwork done by Perez and Austin. They did most of the covers for all of these issues right around this time period. And the great John Byrne actually drew the artwork. It was a nice long run here. We got David Michelini, writer, John Byrne, pencils, D. Hands, inks, B. Sharon, colors, D. Albers, letters, Roger Stern, editor, and Jim Shooter, editor-in-chief. Death on the Hudson. And, of course, there we see the Absorbing Man. So, of course, the Absorbing Man back again. So after his battle against the Hulk a few months before, he had wound up turning into glass, and he got broken, and all the different pieces of his glass body got separated and sent all over the place. So he was kind of biding his time, hopefully that little by little, all of the bits of his body in broken glass would wind up at this landfill together. And once they were all there, he was able to will his body back together to become whole again. That's kind of how he's back, right? So here he's facing off against the new lineup of the Avengers, which is the Beast and the Vision and Wasp and Ms. Marvel and Iron Man and whoever else I forget. The Hawkeye is still here fighting, but he is actually no longer a member of the Avengers at this particular time. So here the battle begins. And I always love how the Absorbing Man can make his body way taller and larger than normal. So here he starts getting into it with Ms. Marvel. All right, he handles her pretty quickly. I always found they make Captain Marvel in the MCU. They say she's one of the most powerful heroes in the universe. And again, the kind of Captain Marvel character in the movies is kind of like a combination of Ms. Marvel and Captain Marvel, because it's Carol Danvers, right? Here, Ms. Marvel is Carol Danvers. In the film, Captain Marvel is Carol Danvers, and there's another Ms. Marvel. Confusing? Of course. But I never thought that Ms. Marvel in the comics was all that powerful. She's powerful, but not like they're portraying, not like Captain Marvel, in the comic, or like Captain Marvel, who is Ms. Marvel in the films. So there, so the Beast goes and takes a dive, goes down to get Ms. Marvel, who's been looked like knocked out and cast aside. Then, of course, you got the Vision jumps into the fray. Wasp jumps into the fray. Vision's got his little wrecking ball there. He's using it against him. And then Iron Man comes, and Iron Man's trying to sap the energy using his transistors from Crusher Creel. Out of the water comes Ms. Marvel and the Beast. Right. Then you've got, just when they think that the Absorbing Man has lost some of his power, he jumps right back up, takes out Iron Man. The Beast runs after him. All right, Iron Man he's got all this power that he sapped out of the Absorbing Man. He goes up to the sky to release it up there. All right. Then we go back to Avengers headquarters, and Captain America's there with the Falcon and Jarvis, and they got Agent, whatever his name is, I forget his name. He is Gyrick, okay? Then they get the call that there's the battle going down by the pier, down by the water, by the Hudson, with the Absorbing Man. So, of course, Cap and the Falcon blast off. They go to help out their comrades. Here we go into the warehouse where the fight has ensued, and you've got the Beast and Crusher Creel going at it. Beast thinks he's got him beat. No, guess not. Cap throws his shield Of course, the Absorbing Man grabs it. Now his body is as hard as the alloy that the shield is made of. Ms. Marvel comes back. She's like, oh, you took me out before. We'll see how that goes now. So now they're all... It's amazing how it's taking the whole team. It just goes to show you how tough that the Absorbing Man is, Crusher Creel. So the whole team is kind of going out of here. Iron Man comes back, jumps back in. He and Crusher go take it outside. They're back on the pier, go smashing through this woman who's running around. She's actually the woman that he took hostage, right? So here the fight commences. So here Iron Man and the Absorbing Man are going at it back and forth, back and forth. Crusher keeps getting stronger. He knows that Iron Man's getting weaker. Iron Man says, I'm still carrying too much energy. That punch cracked one of my circuits. All right. So then she comes up and he keeps calling her Chippy. So he grabs her again and runs off. The chase begins. She's pretty sure he won't hurt her, but he's using her as leverage. And then, of course, he kind of casts her aside. It's like, I don't need to keep you hostage anymore. I can fight my own battles here. And so he gets into it with the Vision. Vision, of course, changes into his, alters his density. And then, of course, Creel does the same thing, right? Because he's absorbing. So now all of a sudden he's light as a feather. He really has no physical makeup. And he just falls right through the pier into the water. And then, of course, he takes up the water, makes himself like water. Then he turns back to human form. And he swims away. Captain Marvel comes to go grab him after him, and he changes himself back to water again, and he disappears, right? So now they're kind of like sitting down there like, all right, we had this big battle. We couldn't even bring him in. Where's he at? Maybe it's all for the better. Hopefully he'll disappear and never come back. And kind of like the woman, Chippy, who he had kidnapped, she keeps remarking on how, he never hurt me, and he just basically took me as leverage. But, what does she say here? So why'd he push me out of danger when he could have used me as a hostage? Continuing on, you don't suppose it really could have been okay to let him go, do you? So they're thinking that, maybe it's okay, he didn't really do any harm, right? So that sort of thing. So, and that's the end of that particular story, two-part story. The Avengers against the Absorbing Man. So good to see him back. I'm a big fan of the Absorbing Man. As you guys know, watch the channel. I think he's just a cool villain. And I don't think he's one of the most evil villains out there, but I just think that his powers are very, very cool. And he's been in some great battles. Really, really great battles against Thor and the Hulk and the Avengers here. And he pops up all over the place. And you actually see him in a lot more Avengers issues going forward, as well as fighting the Hulk. We see him a lot more around this time, late 70s into the 80s against Thor. I don't know. He had lots of great battles against Thor back in the late 60s, but more so against the Hulk and the Avengers going forward. So yeah, let us know what you think of this particular issue number 184 from 1979 of the Avengers. And if you haven't read this one, you're going to want to get these two. Very, very cool stuff. John Byrne classics. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also, get the links below to the Sea of Tranquility merch page where you can go get yourself a Comic Book Geezer t-shirt or coffee mug. Thanks in advance for all that. And we'll see you soon here with more stuff on Comic Book Geezers. Bill and Kirk and myself are going to a little comic book convention tomorrow, so hopefully we'll have a couple quick little videos for you guys to let you know how that all went, and maybe we'll do some "this is what we got" type of videos next week. So stay tuned for that and more. I got some more cool Avengers stuff for you as well. Going to continue on with additional storylines in the John Byrne era going forward. So stay tuned for all that and more. I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.